Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel for another episode of Flea Market Finds, and this is going to be stuff that I picked at the world famous Brimfield Flea Market on July 11th of this year, Friday. Normally I go on the first day of the show, which is Tuesday, and then I usually go back either like Thursday or Friday. I rarely go on the weekend. That's when the retail crowd tends to go in, and I've usually seen everything I wanted to see by then. This year we had a tremendous amount of heavy rain. This is also right around the time frame, for anybody who's watching this video, when all the horrible flooding happened in Texas. We have also been experiencing, I guess climate change is what we're now settled on as far as what we're going to call it. Things are happening now with rain patterns that are just weird. Case in point, we had a little narrow band of geographic area where we are, where we got dumped. One day they dumped the storm dumped about like 3 inches of rain on us in a very short amount of time. We had quite a bit of flooding, and then you went just a little bit further north and you didn't see anything. So pretty much the heavy rain all week put a real damper on things out there at the flea market, which is, it's in Brimfield, which is about 25 or 20 miles west of me. The odd thing is, a lot of this rain was coming up out of Connecticut. I'm on the Connecticut border, and that actually created a situation where they did get some really bad rain during the week, but then by Thursday, my understanding is that it was drying out. Yet Thursday here, well, I woke up to pouring rain, and it looked bad, so I didn't go out on Thursday. Then finally on Friday, we get a break in the weather. Friday morning, early in the morning, we had some really severe thunderstorms and some heavy rain, but that cleared out. So I get out there, and that's when I learned that, well, it turns out Thursday actually wasn't that horrible of a day, but for the most part, I feel bad for the dealers that set up during that week, because I don't think it was a very good week for them. Although, you never know. But that also explains why I have an uncharacteristically light load. I didn't pick a lot of stuff. I went to spots where dealers that I know who tend to set up regularly would be, and they weren't even there. Empty spaces, that kind of stuff. So let's dive right in. All right, so let's start with these two sets of chisels. These are 5-piece chisel sets, and they have a lifetime warranty on them. They're made in the USA. They are Dasco Pro. Other than that, I don't know much about them. This is actually a dealer that I know pretty well, happened to have these at his spot, and he had 10 bucks a piece on these sets. And he had some individual ones that he was asking like 5 bucks a piece for, so I kind of teased him about that. So I don't understand why you're asking 4 or 5 bucks a piece for them individually, but then you get these two sets for 10 a piece. So I decided I'd buy these two, and then I guess because I ribbed him about it, he figured, hey, good point, I'm not charging enough for these. So he ended up giving me $1 off on each one of these. So I got these for 9 bucks a piece, 18 bucks for the two sets. Another guy had quite a few Machinist items, and there were several items there that I really had a hard time getting a deal on. He was a tough negotiator on a lot of these things, but I was able to get this little package right here of small parallel clamps that are marked USA, but they're not Starrett's. And because they're not Starrett's, I was able to get these 6 clamps for 20 bucks. And then the other thing that's in this envelope that I keep dropping through the hole in my table is just a random bunch of replacement screws for these little ones. So 6 little replacement screws. And I got this Brown and Sharp clamp for 5. And then he had several Starretts, some of them in the boxes, but I mean, his prices were like, he wanted like 40 or 50 bucks for a pair, and I explained to him that's nowhere I can be. he had some he had two hardened collets brand new in the box. This 5C and the R8. He wanted to keep the R8. He decided to take that out of the sale. He realized that he should be keeping it for himself, but he was willing to sell me this one for $5. This is kind of funny that I would find this new old Stark hardened collet only because I just recently featured a bunch of these that I bought. So it seems like all of a sudden several of these dealers are coming into these new old stock hardened collets. Doesn't that seem odd? Also, he had a bunch of files there, but I spotted these Nicholson files. These are brand new old stock Nicholsons, good size ones. There's 5 files in the box, and I was able to get these for 25 bucks, so $5 a piece on these files. I've done better on those in the past, but I'll do okay with those. He had a bunch of boxes on the ground with just all kinds of stuff just piled in there, and I happened to find this this old tap and die set sitting in there, and I asked him, I said, what do you want for this incomplete tap and die set, because it's missing the tap wrench. I'm sorry, it's missing the die wrench. And he thought about it, and I said, you know, I was going to tell you I'll offer you 10 for it because it's missing so many parts. So I said, really, all I want is this little tap wrench. So he agreed to that because I already bought a bunch of other stuff. But I got this for, like I said, I got it for 10 bucks. And what's kind of neat is that this is a Greenfield tap and die. So what's in this set is the number 0 Greenfield tap wrench, which these are a little less common. And I just realized this actually has the original wrench for the dies. This is the last item I bought from that individual. I actually picked this up and inquired about it initially. He gave me a pretty high price on it, and that led me to put it back down. But I just kept thinking about it while I was standing there, and finally we went back and forth and settled on a price of 35 bucks for this little slice of magic right here. So this is something that he told me the tool maker he knew, who he got a lot of these tools from, made. So at first I thought it was a simple collet block. It's precision ground on all sides. It's got a collet holder. It uses these little weird collets, which there was only 3 of them, so that's a problem. In through these slotted openings is where you can stick a little bar to tighten the collet nut, so you can take the collet out or draw the collet in to tighten around whatever you have in there. But what's really neat about it is that this nose right here is indexable. He's got graduation lines going all the way around the outside of this, and this screw right here, if you loosen this screw, it will unlock this and allow you to kind of index this thing. So I just thought that was really nicely made, nicely executed part or tool. The guy had some skills, and whenever I see this kind of thing where, you know, it's clear that it was made by somebody who took their time, I can't pass it up. Believe it or not, we're already getting down to the wire. So I found a table with a bunch of junk on it, and laying there looking horrible is this Starrett cutter. This is this is the original box. So these are the Starrett number 1 adjustable cut nippers. Cut nippers. I've had these before, but I've never had them with the original box. Unfortunately, the plating, which I think is nickel or chrome on these, is pretty rough. So these are a type of N-type wire cutter almost, you know. Guess you might also be able to use these to nibble off a little bit of thin metal on the edge. I saw that they were Starrett with the original box, and just knowing how some guys are just like a little crazy about their prices on stuff when it says Starrett, you can get a little paperwork here with it. I almost didn't want to even ask, but I did, and the guy said $3. So I was like, sold American. It's really got some bad rust right there, but in here, this is an item I bought off of a guy who, he's always there at every show. I think my camera's fogging up from the humidity. Yeah, I hope this video isn't junk. He always has a bunch of trays, and then he just has a cardboard sign saying what the stuff is. Like this tray, $5 each, this tray, whatever. This was in the $10 each tray, and I picked it up and I said, well, that's kind of unusual. It's an inside micrometer, but it's got needle points on it, you know, really sharp. So just give you a better look at this thing. I don't know if this section right here is original or if somebody added that. It's got a chunk missing out of it. But this is actually clearly marked Brown and Sharp. Yeah, Brown and Sharp, Providence, Rhode Island. So I'll have to look in my Brown and Sharp catalog and see if I could find this, because this is something I have not seen before, which is what made me shell out the $10 for it. And the final item is actually the contents of this bag, which I'm just going to take a couple of them out, but I ended up getting, I think, 27 of these for $60. So I ended up getting 27 of these for $2 a piece is what I wanted to, where I wanted to land, which would have been $54, and he wanted 60. So I said, for the extra $6, I'm not gonna worry about it. But what's in here are a whole bunch of these cast iron parallels. He just had them in a big pile on the table, and there were some larger ones there too, but I was focusing on these smaller ones and realizing that there were actually a lot of pairs. So as I started to dig through the pile, I realized I could start making some pairs, and I think I was able to make 12 pairs, and then there were like 3 more that were orphans, so I grabbed those. So I grabbed all the smaller ones, except for he had some really short ones, but for the most part, I got all the ones that were marked in a way that made it clear to me that they were, you know, factory made. They're marked M840W, okay? So I think the 40 is the length and the 8 is the height. So this is like an M640W, so it's the same length, but it's shorter. It's not as tall. So I think I'm going to do really well with these. I think if somebody wants to, they could use them just as rudimentary parallels the way they are, or, you know, they're cast iron. If you wanted to take the time, you could precision grind these. So judging from the tooling marks on them, it looks like these were just milled, but if somebody wanted to take them to the next, you know, level of accuracy, they could grind them. And as you can see, I got quite a few of them in there. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. $60 for 27 cast iron parallels that look like they might be vintage. Well guys, believe it or not, sadly this episode's going to be coming to a close. That's all I ended up getting from this pick at the Brimfield Flea Market. I'm sure fall will be a really good Brimfield. And that being said, if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button, or what do the young kids say, this, smash that like button for me. Take care.